Good morning, boys and girls. This is Mr. Cook, and today on Chapter 8, Lesson 6, we are working on time to the digital hour. So this is going to be Friday, March 5th, and this is going to be the last time we actually have Cohort A working with the opt-outs, which is pretty exciting. So let's get started here, boys and girls. We're going to write the time in this quick check that we have. Now, to go over our clocks again, because we learned a little bit about them yesterday, we've been learning about them a little bit all week. When we take a look at number 1, we have to take a look that our clock is going to have two hands. Now, when they put it in the book here, it shows us that the hour hand is going to be the red one, and the minute hand is going to be the blue one. Now, remember, the hour is going to tell us what actual hour it's going to be, and the minute hand is going to tell us the minutes. The ones that moves faster is actually going to be the minute hand, because every time this minute hand makes its way all the way around one time, the hour hand actually only moves up once. So let's take a look at this here, boys and girls. When I look at the hour, I see that it's pointing directly at the 8. So I start by showing 8 o'clock. Now for this one here, boys and girls, we can check our minute hand and see that it's on the 12. Now whenever the minute hand is on the 12, that means 0 minutes has gone by because that's when it's resetting. So for this one here, boys and girls, this is just 8 o'clock. Let's take a look at number 2. When looking at this clock, I like to also look at the minute hand at the same time as when I look at the hour hand, because it's going to tell me what time it really is going to be. So if I look at the minute hand, it's on the 12, so I know that means 0 minutes has gone by. So I really only have to worry about this hour hand right here. It's pointing directly at the 5, so we know this is going to be 5 o'clock. Let's take a look down here at the bottom. Same exact thing. Our minute hand is on the 12, so that means 0 minutes. I'm looking here at the hour hand. It's pointing directly at the 9, so we have 9 o'clock. And the last one here, boys and girls. Again, minute hand at 12, hour hand at 1 o'clock. Now, how can you really use a digital clock to tell time? Now, this is kind of the same thing as a regular clock, but these ones are actually, I personally think, a little easier to read. Now, when looking at a digital clock here, boys and girls, we're actually going to have the hours right here, and we have the minutes right here. With a digital clock, you don't have the hands. You also don't have to worry about if the hour is in between certain numbers, which we're going to get into when we talk about minutes to the half hour. So we have hours on this side, minutes on this side here. So digital clocks are actually a lot easier to read. But let's take a look at this problem. It says Quinn leaves the house and returns at the times shown. Write the times on the digital clocks. So let's take a look at leaving the house first. Now, this one's a little funky because you can see that the hands are actually right on top of each other. But we know that the minute hand is pointing at the 12, so that means we have 0 minutes. And we also see that the hour hand is pointing at the 12, so that means we have 12 hours. So that would actually be written down like this. 12. I'm going to put those right there, and then 0 minutes. If that minute hand had moved at all, it'd still be 12 o'clock because this hour hand will move, but we'd have to write the different minutes, but right now it's just 12 o'clock. Now when we return to the house, we can take a look and see that it's pointing directly at the 9. So this would be 9. So that means the 9 hours. And it's pointing directly at the 12 for the minute hand, so that means we have 0 minutes because it resets at 12. So that would be 9 o'clock. Now for this one here, boys and girls, it's going to be a little trickier, okay? It says the store opens at the time shown. Write the time on the digital clock. The store closes 2 hours later. Draw the hands on the digital clock. Draw the hands on the analog clock and write the time in the digital clock. So we actually have to do both on this side. But let's take a look at this when the store opens first over here. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the hour. I know the hour is pointing directly at the 4, so I'm going to put 4 o'clock. And remember, the hour hand is going to be the shorter one. And then we take a look at our minute hand, and our minute hand is pointing at the 12. That means 0 minutes has gone by. So we have 4 o'clock shown as this right here. Okay, now here's the tricky part. This one said that the store closes 2 hours later. So we're looking at that number right there, okay? So if it's 4 o'clock right now, we need to count ahead 2 hours because it's happening 2 hours later. I wonder what time that would be. If I have 4 o'clock and I want to add 2 to it, what would that be? If you got 6 o'clock, that's awesome. So boys and girls, a little trick that I want you guys to do. When you start writing your hours, I want you guys to really focus on starting in the middle and working on your hour hand first, okay? It's going to be the smaller one. So I know that I need to get to 6 o'clock because it's just 2 hours later after 4 o'clock. So we need to get to 6, and I'm going to draw my hour hand. Now the hour hand cannot go all the way through like the minute hand. It needs to go all the way up to about the number. And then our minute hand, since we have 0 minutes, is going to go all the way up through the 12. It's going to almost go all the way to the end of the clock. So you know which one's going to be bigger. So let's practice with these boys and girls to finish up, and then we're going to get started with our work today. So we're going to use the clocks to show the time. So on this one, take a look at the hour hand, directly on the 11, minute hand directly on the 12. So that means we have 0 minutes, but it's going to be the 11th hour. So this one is 11 o'clock. And this one over here, boys and girls, we actually just did on the last problem for number 2. Hour hand is on the 6, minute hand's on the 12, 6 o'clock. So for you guys today, boys and girls, you guys are working on pages 595 to 598. If you want to be amazing and get a little extra practice, you can work on pages 599 to 600. So, boys and girls, good luck, and always have fun.